again. Woke up this morning, she's soft by my side. She rolls over to me, looks me in the eye, says it looks like a bluebird day. Baby, let's ride. Now it's thunder down the back roads, wheat fields flying by, sun up on our shoulders.
Oh, hi. I didn't hear you come in. Just working on my skis. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to another Soul of Hellroaring podcast coming to you from the Ski Heritage Center in Whitefish, Montana, 705 Wisconsin Avenue, right on the way to Whitefish Mountain Resort. So you can stop by going up or you can stop by going down. It would be great to see you. Today's episode is the first of a series that we're actually doing. And the series will be called They Came from Whitefish, and we'll be highlighting the careers of some local homegrown skiers and riders who have made a significant impact on the national stage, and in some cases have performed pretty well across the ocean too. So today's guest will be Townsend Reed, and Townsend Reed was a former alpine ski racer as a young man, and then somewhat around high school age, converted to the sport of freeride, which is what we're going to talk to him about today. We interviewed Townsend about a year ago, and we have some really good background information, and I think we're going to have some fun with looking ahead and looking back as we go through this podcast. So be aware that your eyes are fine. And on that note, I think it's probably time to bring Townsend in and talk. Well, Townsend, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Welcome back. You're going to become a regular.
Yeah, I'm excited to be back here.
You're going to be the co-host.
Sweet, I love that.
The term freeride seems like it's used in ways that maybe aren't what it really is. So how would you define, as we're sitting here talking about freeride?
Oh, I would say it's a name that kind of was born out of the need to encompass snowboarding and skiing together. You know, it was free skiing and then there was snowboarding, and they needed maybe one term to just sort of bring those two together. So it became freeride, free skiing and then riding.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's where the term comes from. But it's become a whole sport in itself now. It's kind of taken on a whole new meaning, which is competitive freeride. And then you could say there's free riding, which would just be, you know, kind of off on your own, skiing big mountains or wherever. Right. But then competitive freeride, has become a whole nother thing, which has kind of exploded in the last few years and is going to become, an Olympic sport. Yeah. So Olympic freeriding will be something soon.
Freeride, freestyle, big mountain, there's a lot of different things going on.
Yeah.
So can you, what's freeride to you?
Yeah. So freeride is my discipline that I compete in, and that is pretty much being put on a face, all natural features, nothing done to the lips of the cliffs or anything. Usually it's just a very steep face, just pretty untamed, and you get to one run usually going down, and you get judged on 5 criteria. It's your fluidity, style and energy, your line choice, control, and your technique. And then you get a score out of 100 on those 5 things. And then, so pretty much everyone gets free creativity just down the slope. And it's really cool because there's no 2 runs that are the same. And so everyone has a different kind of approach to the mountain. And so it's just really, it's in the name freeride. So everyone's just out there having a good time, but
just doing what they can with
exactly.
Yeah.
And just doing what they can with the judging criteria while making it super personal to themselves and their own style. Yeah. And the difference between, people confuse it with freestyle. So freestyle is on the terrain park jumps, all man-made jumps and rails and stuff.
So Townsend, your earliest memories from learning to ski here?
Oh, skiing on the magic carpet with Dad. He would hold a hula hoop around me, and so he'd just push me and just slowly just fell in love with it. I didn't like it at first, but
You didn't like it at first?
no, it was just cold and hated it, but gummy bears bribed me, so kept going for it. Yeah.
So when did you really feel, do you remember a time or when everything kind of clicked and you decided you liked it?
Really once started skiing with friends, like
Yeah.
just pushing each other, and once it became competitive with the racing, just really liked that.
Really
and
pushed you.
yeah, just like loved competing against friends, and just that aspect of it was.
So how old were you when you started the race program?
I think I was 8,
Oh, okay.
so yeah, pretty young.
And then basically you went, how old were you then when you moved on to freeride?
I was 12 when
And
I
that
moved
was
on
pretty
to
much
freeride.
directly right from one
Yep.
year to the next.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I quit, and I didn't really know what freeride was, only from like watching Park and Costain and Tanner Hall growing up, but I didn't know the competition side of it. And then Gardner Dominic told me about it, and we went to Big Sky for my first competition that year.
Okay. That first year.
Yep,
Okay.
and that was a great experience.
You were enjoying the most and doing the best in terms of the ski racing side, and then you know, how do you think that serves you as a freeride competitor?
Yeah, I think like early years of middle school, just all my best friends, we all raced together, and we're all traveling around Montana to all the different races, and that was just the best time, staying in hotels together and just seeing all these new places together was incredible. And definitely, we all kind of quit at the same time to
Yeah, I was just going to
start.
ask you, did it
start
make it hard to do that?
yeah, we all kind of quit at the same time, and it definitely, you can see it just translated in all of our skiing. It's a lot of the really good skiers on the world tour are all ex-racers, and it just definitely gives you a really good base on who you are as a skier. Yeah.
So I guess a question for both of you, but maybe Kyle first. How do you feel about it being a judged event versus sort of the black and whiteness of the stopwatch?
I mean, the same I feel about any judged event, but it can be frustrating sometimes. The judges have a hard job. They watch 100 competitors in a day, and they got to keep everybody straight. You just hope that they get, you know, the top half of it right. And if you get scored down one day, you're going to get maybe scored up the next. It balances out. The judges are good. In the top of the sport, the categories, there's very, in the ski men, there's maybe 25, and they're really good at ranking 25 people. Once you get into a huge field of where everyone looks the same, it gets a little harder.
Yeah.
But at the top of the sport, the scores don't mean as much as the ranking, right? So they're just trying to rank everyone, and I think they do a good job at that.
For the most part, you feel like the system works in that regard.
I do.
Yeah.
Cool.
I feel like most of the time everybody feels that way, but there's always that time you're like, man, I feel like I should have gotten scored higher, but
Yeah.
I usually trust that most of the judges have been doing it for so long and have it pretty dialed.
Yeah.
When you guys find out where the actual run that you're competing on, what's the process for familiarizing yourself with the terrain, and do you get to go do a course inspection like ski racing, or how did that?
So for juniors, all the way up until I was 18, they let you go onto the course. So you'll go with your coaches and all your team, and before getting on the venue, we'd always like looking at pictures and watching videos from years prior of people skiing that face.
Okay.
And you can kind of ski what scored well in years prior, and then look on a picture, and we usually draw it on our phone, make a line down it. Like, usually make about 2 or 3 different options, because looking at it from the bottom is completely different than when you're actually on it. So we'll have kind of, I usually like having 2 or 3 lines picked out in my head, and then once you're on the venue, it's like, okay, here we go. It's just a lot different than I thought, and then kind of just pick your way down. And usually it's a pretty popular area. Like everyone will kind of flock to, but usually the ones that score well are off that something different.
Something different.
Yeah. So it's pretty tough choosing a way down, especially when you've never skied that face before. But yeah, up until you're 18, you actually get to go on the course with your coach, which helps a lot, because the coach usually has done that for years and
Right.
has a lot of input for you on where you should go. And but for my first time last year, I couldn't look at it on course. So we could only look at the bottom with binoculars, and you have to pick a line like that. You on your run is the first time you've ever skied that. So it feels like a whole different sport once you get into that. And because you're looking at it from the bottom, you think it goes, but sometimes it's just so much different than you thought.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about that is the snow is usually perfect. So if you do go down, it's a lot more forgiving.
Yeah.
You're a little less scared of crashing, but
Yeah.
it's crazy just to be throwing yourself off of up to 40-foot cliffs without ever
Never been
even
up.
bending on top of it. So that I prefer it just because I like skiing the soft snow more.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a big thing to get used to.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, that has to be a big trend. That's probably one of the biggest transitions
Yeah,
going.
and also all the Europeans, they grew up doing the visual inspection from the bottom. So
Okay.
I think for insurance reasons, in the States, we have to be on the course in juniors.
Right.
So all those European guys have a little bit of a head start.
Yeah.
Getting used to it was crazy. Yeah.
So, Townsend, you said you went to Big Sky. That was your first event.
Yep.
What was that like? Just sort of the whole preparation and then standing in the starting gate.
Yeah, that was
pretty weird.
a memorable experience. Kind of just got thrown right into it, and I really had no idea how it worked. And Parkin Costain was there, and he was great help, and he kind of took me under his wing and coached me for that weekend and showed me like how to ski a line and what to look for, what the judges are looking for. And that weekend just really opened my eyes. I still kind of didn't figure it out and went way too hard in the final day and crashed, but like really good learning experience, and it just hooked me right away.
Yeah.
Met so many good friends, and that's kind of a huge thing in the freeride community is just like everybody. It's just a big group of friends, and every competition is just a big party. It's a good time.
Well, and you can see that when you watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like everyone gets to the bottom, like no matter who you are, everyone's down hugging each other and just, yeah.
So, how many seasons have you done freeride now?
I think 5 or 6. I think 6, yeah.
So, I guess just as a sort of standing back and looking at it, how do you feel like you've progressed in the sport in terms of, we're gonna talk about, Breckenridge, but from day one at Big Sky till up to last season, does that feel like it's been a fairly steady progression?
Yeah, I feel like it took me about 2 or 3 years to kind of figure it out and like find skiers that I really looked up to, and I kind of just fed off of that and tried to ski like them, and then figured out a style of run that I like. And because every skier has their kind of different approach to it. Like if they're gonna go hit a bunch of little airs or just hit like one big air and ski the whole thing, it's like, so just kind of finding my own way that I found scored well, and just kind of building off that as I got older. So
Yeah.
felt like the first 2 years I did it, I was horrible. Like didn't do well at all, and then finally started getting coached by Kyle, and
His learning curve was steep.
yeah,
Let's be honest.
yeah.
So I guess, Townsend, do you feel like you're on a track that you can sort of relate to where you are and have kind of a vision of where you need to go
Yeah.
to the next step to go?
Mhm.
up the ladder?
The end goal for all of us is the Freeride World Tour. So
Yeah.
right now, next week, that'll be my first adult comp. And so that's one of the 4 stars, which is about some of the highest ones you can do for the adult. It'll get you the most points. And so I'll have 3 of those. And if I do well enough in those 3, then I'll qualify for the Challenger Series. And that'd be like end of March, April, if you qualify for that. And then you have to place top 4 out of that series,
To get
and then
to
to get to the World Tour. So I could make it this year, but it's definitely going to be very
uphill
tough. I'm
battle.
going to be the youngest,
Yeah.
some of the youngest in the age. So we'll see. I'm going to try my best, but I think over the next few years, that's definitely the end goal for me, would be a Freeride World Tour. I'm just going to keep working at it.
Well, back to that transition and sort of an overview of last season, how'd it go?
Yeah, so I crashed a lot. So I was signed up for about 3 competitions through the regular season, and they're all ranked by stars. So each star, the more stars there is in each competition, it's usually better athletes, and those go for more points. So I signed up for 3 4-stars, which are like the max points you can get for the regular season. And I crashed at every single one of them. I think I'm just too fired up to be an adult, and I think I thought I needed to push it a lot harder than I needed to. So I would kind of just go like 150% every comp and just crash. But the people at IFSA saw that I was just really trying to push the sport, and they actually gave me a wild card spot in the whole Challenger Series. And the Challenger Series is a thing that's I think it's new in the last 2 or 3 years.
But yes, that's a sand truck. Snowplow. Okay.
It's new in the last 2 or 3 years, and so pretty much you want to qualify. They take the top 32 males in the whole entire league, so Canada and the U.S. and South America now as well, so all the Americas, and put them all in this 3 competition series. And so I was really thankful to get that wild card spot, because I was so bummed. I just crashed at every single comp, got really lucky and got that spot. And yeah, that started in March, and I'll be doing that again this season.
Okay.
So that starts in March, and you do 3 competitions, and they take your best 2 of 3. And if you get top 4 out of those 32 men, then you go to the Freeride World Tour. It's just top big leagues. That's as high as I can get. So I started off, we went all the way up to Whitewater, British Columbia, and it was just complete fog. Started raining on the top, just horrible conditions. So everyone had gotten up there, and they had to call it off. They couldn't get a helicopter in there. Just kind of everything that could have went wrong. So, which was fine. I was so nervous. I just did not feel ready to compete there. So we all went back. I went back to Utah, and then the next competition was in Kirkwood, California.
Okay.
And that one also not the best conditions either. It was bulletproof ice, but we had sun. And that one they actually let us go on the venue. It wasn't the visual inspection.
Yeah.
Bulletproof ice is probably some of the most scared I've been for a competition ever, especially coming in as the wild card. I felt like I had a lot to prove, because a lot of people were like, how did you get that spot? He just crashed at every single comp he went to. So I was super nervous for that, and especially with the ice, that didn't help. But put down, I think, probably my best run of the season, and ended up in 2nd place, which was really good result for me, and got me $900, which coasted me through the rest of the season, which was pretty nice. And so that was super sweet. I got a ton of points for that, and they did 2 competitions at A Basin to make up for the one they had to cancel at Whitewater.
Yeah.
And I think I might have only needed a top 12, and I would have been in the Freeride World Tour. And I just crashed at both of them, and I don't know what happened, but couldn't hold it together. And I think in hindsight it was a good thing. I think I wouldn't have been ready to compete on the World Tour last year.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a little bit of a heartbreaker, but I ended in 8th place overall out of the 32. And so that'll set me up for a pre-qualification for the Challenger Series for this season, which will start in March.
Okay.
The last couple of years, it's usually been 1 in Canada, 1 in California, 1 in Colorado.
Okay.
So I'm guessing they'll kind of follow that same routine. I'm really hoping they do the Whitewater competition, because that place is amazing. I love it there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
Backing up to last summer, then this past summer.
Yeah.
What do you ski anywhere this summer?
I didn't spend a lot of money last winter, and so we're just working all summer. I was working out on the lake, though. It wasn't too bad. I was instructing surfing for the homestead.
Oh, wow.
Which was a really cool job. Got to meet a lot of really cool people, and yeah, I just spent my days on the lake. And then I got invited on a trip to Chile at the beginning of August, but I had school starting that week, and I was tempted, but definitely needed to get into school for the first week there. Yeah.
And the way it's fortunate that you don't have competitions. Because you can really get back together.
Exactly, yeah, just really preparing. Yeah.
So you didn't mention Utah when you were talking about where the competitions usually were.
Yeah, usually Snowbird has a really good venue for it. I'm not sure if they did one in the past. I know the last 2 years they haven't had one there, but for the Challenger Series.
Right. Okay.
But they have think 3 adult comps at Snowbird actually.
Okay.
And then they may have one at Solitude. I'm not sure, but Snowbird has a great spot for me. I competed there last year and had a pretty big crash there.
That was 1 year 3.
Yeah. I just went way too fast off this one cliff. Like, had a great run coming down, and then this last one, I thought I needed to go a lot faster than I did, and just skied it to the flats and just did kind of four front flips. Pretty funny.
So equipment, have you pretty much been on the same gear for a couple of years?
Yeah.
And how does all that work for you?
Yeah, so I've been riding for Icelandic skis, and those have just been amazing because it was kind of my first big sponsor. The owner, Ben, he just moved here probably 3 or 4 years ago, and it's been so cool. He kind of took me under his wing, and it was really cool to be treated that way as a first sponsor, because before that, I mean, you're just a young kid. No, companies don't really look at you very much, so he was just really cool about showing me the ropes of that and just treating me really well. And loved their skis. Last couple of years, I've been riding the Nomad 112 mostly, and that's just a great freeride ski. It's pretty soft as well, so for doing a lot of weird butter tricks and stuff that we like to do, it's really fun for that, but also holds up really well in the chop and for landing big airs.
Yeah.
But actually for this season, I've switched to Faction skis, so that was a really tough decision, but I'm really stoked for it, and I've been watching Faction's videos since I was like as long as I can remember. And they just have a really incredible team, so I'm really looking forward to getting to know those guys more. And I've only skied probably a week on my new skis just because I've been kind of hurt, but love them. Yeah, so really excited to see how those are. And really cool people buying that brand too, a lot of Europeans. So
how did you get hooked up with them? Just through the guys you knew?
They reached out to me last year, and I was on contract with Icelandic, so just had to say no. And then this year they reached out again, and yeah, it was seriously a really hard decision. Like, Icelandic felt like a family to me, so really tough. I'm still in really good contact with them, but yeah, I had to make the decision to go to Faction. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, I've been loving their skis. And then for outerwear, I've been riding for Flylo the last 4 years as well. Really like their stuff. And then this year, Peak Performance, which is a Swedish brand, they just reached out to, they actually just started coming into the US this year. So before then, they were only Canada, Japan, and Europe. And so this was the first year they're coming into REIs in the States and have a website for the US. And so they reached out to 12 to 15 skiers, I believe, in the States to ride for them and represent them. So my girlfriend is actually riding for them too, and then my buddy Casper is my roommate, so it's really cool to like go out and shoot with them for Peak and stuff. And I think it's gonna be really cool to see them grow in the US in the next couple of years, because they've always been such a huge staple on the Freeride World Tour.
Right.
But now just in the States, I think they'll really do well. So
that's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, and also Scott Sports, wearing helmets and goggles and backpacks from Scott, which has been awesome because I grew up riding Scott stuff, like all adventures Scott poles and all that.
Yeah.
So that's been really fun. They great stuff, and got to visit their headquarters last winter in Switzerland, which is amazing. Really cool people. Yeah.
So I'm going to switch over and I'm going to put on a couple of your runs here and have you just comment a little bit.
Coach Hannah.
Yeah, Coach Hannah up there.
Coach Anders.
Coach Anders. Yeah, it was great having those guys up there. Hannah always just like, when you're up there, you just get riled up. And so Hannah's really good at just keeping me chill, because that's definitely, I can't ski when I'm all nervous. So Hannah and Anders just really good at keeping me.
In terms of just standing there in the starting gate, is it a similar feeling to looking back to when you were in the starting gate?
That was definitely like some of the most pressure I've felt competing in skiing, because I'd qualified first the day before, and so they make the first place qualifiers run last. So it kind of just builds up a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And you kind of have something to prove. And so just up there, I was trying not to think about it, just ski it like a normal run.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You want to be skiing last.
Yeah.
Means you're in first.
That's a good thing.
We got Townsend Reed coming out of Montana. Dropping just looking right at the start. 3, 2, 1, drop. Here is Townsend Reed on course.
Yeah.
Nice pause.
So,
I can just kind of do this
perfect.
this way. Okay, so
I got a question.
okay.
How did you choose your line, Townsend?
I looked at it and it was pretty basic line, like a lot of other people skied it, but Kyle was in Alaska and I sent him a picture of it and was like, should I ski this? And he said, yes, just ski it better than everyone else. So I was really just focusing on staying on my feet that day because I had a decent lead after the first day,
Yeah,
so
you didn't. Yeah.
I didn't have to go super hard, but just put a good one to my feet, and it was kind of hard not to play it too safe and not go too hard, so I just tried to keep it right in the middle. But
Well, that's the classic World Cup flip 30.
yep,
Win the first run, and there's a couple of really fast times, second run times, so you can't go too slow.
Yep.
But you don't want to fall.
Yeah,
So same
exactly.
thing, yeah.
But I think I'll probably, even in adults, I'll be sending my pictures of my line to Kyle and getting his input. So still, I was a little bit uncertain. Like in the awards, I would have been happy with any of it, but was super stoked to come out on top.
Pair, and then as their bid is coming up, they walk up to the very start gate. It's cold up there. We have almost minus 20 degrees and some wind, so very crucial for the riders to keep warm today. What's it like, Manu? You're getting up at 5 in the morning, you're going up with the gold in the dark, you hike up to the top. It's pretty crazy, huh? Such a mission for the riders.
Such a mission. Competing is mentally and physically a super hard job.
18 years of age, coming from Whitefish in the United States, riding for the Flathead Freeride Club. As his first participation as the 2025 Yeti Freeride Junior World Championships by Dynastar. He went to Chile this summer to prepare.
Nice.
Let's see how that did help his skiing. Whoa! Flawless left and 3 at the very top cliff, setting a new standard. That was absolutely incredible. It looks like we have a bit of a standard line for the skiers now, but he topped it up with a 3 and landed it perfectly.
Over all those exposure.
And another
one.
huge 3. Hopefully that is not too big.
Woo.
How did he land that? Take your time, buddy. Take your time. You are on the way to the winning run of the day if you just ski home now. That was
But
absolutely
he's not
incredible.
stopping.
No! Reed Townsend was one of the most amazing runs I have seen in my whole life down the Quellspitze.
Yeah, same.
That was unreal. 2 big 360s, 2 airs, not hardly any turns in between, but I was kind of afraid there would be a tiny bit too much speed for the last
Yeah.
year. Oh, Reed, what a run.
What a beautiful run, but wow. I'm breathless after that run because wow, that was like, there was no time in between anything.
Had he landed that, I would have given him a 95 right away.
Yeah.
Oh, that was absolutely incredible. 18 years of age, coming from Whitefish in the United States, riding for the Flathead Freeride Club. As his first participation as the 2025 Yeti Freeride Junior World Championships by Dynastar. He went to Chile this summer to prepare.
Right, yeah, that top section, Kyle and I were standing up there at the top, and we fully figured out that line maybe would you say 5 minutes before I dropped?
That's it.
Because we thought I was gonna go way further lookers left,
Yeah.
and then last minute we were like, yeah, maybe come this way. That's gonna score better. And then
How that did help his
we
skiing.
But Townsend decided he had the 3 at 2.
we watched someone hit it right in front of us, and like maybe that'd be a good 360. And that was probably another 2 minutes before I went. So kind of just
And from the
figuring it
I
out.
didn't watch the whole thing, but nobody else did that.
I think maybe 1 or 2 other people did it, but it was definitely just that those last 10 minutes before I went, it was kind of hectic, just figuring out what I
Trying
wanted
to
to
figure
do.
out
Yeah,
exactly what you-
because we watched a couple of the girls go ahead of me, and then could kind of like see what was gonna go and get some ideas.
You always want to look at it from the top,
Yep.
and then also as you're hiking, you kind of can look at some of your other takeoffs and
Mhm.
stuff.
I mean,
Tweak some things.
becoming very evident that it just takes a lot of self-confidence. I mean,
You really want to. You don't want to doubt where you're going,
no.
or you're not going to ski well.
New standard. That was absolutely incredible. It looks like we have a bit of a standard line for the skiers now, but he topped it up with a 3 and landed it perfectly.
All those exposure.
And
And
another
another one.
huge 3. Hopefully that is not too big. How did he land it?
Yeah, so it was definitely, I wasn't supposed to go that big at all. I
On that
was
one,
planning on going about half the
well,
size.
you almost landed, it looked like a cross where it was starting to,
Yeah, I was
you jumped the hill.
was supposed to go about half that size, but the takeoff, you come like up this steep
Yeah.
hill, and it felt like I was going really slow.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it just started dropping off, I was like, oh no. And thankfully landed it, but where I was really supposed to go is about 10 feet above that and
Where you
land
were
in that
going off.
pocket. So it kind of set me up to the complete wrong line.
To go off where you didn't plan to go.
Yep, so going off that, I didn't really know what was
What you did.
underneath me.
Well,
And
you didn't clear the rocks by a lot.
and thankfully, that there was a little pad underneath me to kind of that I could
Take your
steer.
time, buddy. Take your time. You are.
So yeah, that was improvised. I wasn't planning on doing that.
Yeah, because
And then
you can see where the one from above, we're landing above the next rock up
yeah,
there.
yeah, I was supposed to land in that pocket right
Yeah,
there.
But you actually landed it.
Yeah, but that's probably what I should have inspected originally. But
On the way to the
and then I was supposed to take off right.
winning run of the day. If you
Right
just
here.
stay home now.
So you're gonna
I
be
was
further
supposed
up.
to. I was supposed to go up there,
Oh, so you were.
but I was just lower, and
further down the
I was
hill.
just like, I'm
That
just just gonna take speed and hopefully I clear the rocks. And
And
so
this had to be one of those ones.
Absolutely.
This is bigger than I thought.
yeah,
You actually needed to go further.
yeah, a little
Again.
bit further. My right foot landed straight on those rocks, and it made it pretty tough to land it. So
What was your? I mean, how did you process the
Oh,
whole
I was-
thing?
I was just rolling right there and just like pretty bummed. I mean, I was just glad I could get to that point. Like I didn't crash at the very top on
Yeah.
that 360 or something, but I was really hoping I kind of like to compete like first or last. So
Yeah.
I was just really gonna go for the first and got invited to go to this game called Slush. Have you heard of it? So you'll pretty much go out there, you go, all right, rock, paper, scissors, shoot, and then whoever wins gets the set, and they start with whatever trick they want to do. And like you're trying to get a trick that you'll land and the other person won't.
Right.
And then so it spells out slush. And so it's pretty crazy. So you go out there, Kelly won the first one, and he goes out and does this huge tail tap on this log, and it was in spring conditions, and he just front flipped. And that's just how it starts. But yeah, so if he calls a trick, but he doesn't get it, then I get to try also. And if I get it, he gets a letter. But if he doesn't get it, then it switches to my turn. And then I can choose whatever trick I would. But it went on for so long. It took us 2 days, which usually, I guess, the park games that you just take half of a day. So
Yeah.
it takes a lot longer when you got to go all the way up.
Big trips, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I've broken my collarbone 4 times. So that happened within like really short span of time too. I think that was less than 2 years I broke 4 collarbones. That was like a freshman and sophomore years at high school. And I think I was just really fragile. I was super skinny. And I'd go out to Mount Hood with my buddies, and we'd think we were good park skiers for some reason. You'd go hit those big park jumps in Mount Hood, and yeah, one of the times I just caught my tips, broke my collarbone. And then the next summer there, I landed sideways, slammed right on my shoulder. And then after that, the doctor said 4 weeks. And the day it was 4 weeks, I went cliff jumping. Great idea, right? And landed just broke it again.
Rebroke it.
Rebroke it. And then that winter in January, I broke my collarbone again. Yeah, I got. They just had to make it even, 2 on both sides. No, hopefully no more collarbones after that. But just feeling really fortunate to not have anything worse, knock on wood. But because freeride is definitely a very dangerous sport. I know I have so many friends that have just gotten pretty messed up, but yeah, I think the older I get too, my risk management has gotten so much better. Maybe I don't want to.
That's maturity.
Go hit a 30-foot cliff onto ice, you know? Yeah. I think it's been cool to see how many people they've attracted into it.
Yeah.
Just what a family it is there. And I can't wait to see what he does in the future with it, especially if Whitefish gets an adult comp and what junior comps. Yeah, it seems more and more people are coming up for the junior comp every year because I feel like the Whitefish, I mean, at least in the freeride competition scene, not many people knew what it was. You'd say you're from Whitefish and they thought you meant white waters.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm from Big Mountain.
Exactly, yeah.
No, it's Big Sky.
Yeah, but I think now with this competition, it's becoming more and more known just through that competition scene, because I feel like a lot of times if Mountain didn't have a competition there, a lot of people didn't know about it, at least in that small circle. Yeah, that just would be awesome to be an Olympian. I think that's definitely want to set my eyes out on that. It would be in Salt Lake in 2032, I believe is what they're shooting for.
I think that's right.
Yeah, so that's what they're shooting for, which would put me in the use.
7 years, 6 years.
6 years, I'll be 26, 25. Hopefully I'll be still walking.
At the primary issue.
Yeah, so that'd be the dream. I'd love to do that. So I think it's gonna be really cool.
Well, thanks again.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Now it's thunder down the back roads, wheat fields flying by, sun up on our shoulders, clear blue sky. Got heaven here behind me,